Meghan Markle does not represent black people in the United States. I don't know if you knew that.
No question she doesn't. Don't worry, I'm very familiar. She doesn't represent anybody.
Of course
other
not.
than a very elite, hypocritical group of people.
Tucker Carlson just called out Meghan Markle for not representing black people in the United States, or frankly, anyone at all. In that comment, it broke the dam wide open, because Tucker didn't stop there. Not only did he expose her for the fraud she is, he went a step further and invited Meghan Markle's half-sister Samantha Markle on his show to spill the real tea about what Meghan's been hiding all along. We'll get to that explosive interview in a bit, but first you need to understand how Tucker's comment opened the floodgates for the most prominent journalists in media to finally take their shots at Meghan, one after another. And none of them held back. The first shots came from Megyn Kelly, and she wasn't pulling any punches. Kelly tore into the real Meghan that exists behind closed doors. The relatable working mom persona, complete bullshit.
What we hear behind the scenes is that she's a bully who fires everybody, only worried about herself. But when she gets on camera, she actually is a decent actress in being like, I'm just this super relatable person with her own flower sprinkles and, candle line. And I just sit around being like a working mom. I'm just like all the other working moms.
Right.
That's me.
And look, this isn't just some baseless accusation from a random tabloid. Multiple sources, multiple countries, multiple years. The pattern is undeniable at this point. But Kelly also called out Meghan for something that shows just how calculated everything really is.
There are some moments that are supposed to be between a husband and a wife only. And the moments before you give birth to your child is one of them. When you are together in that room and your child is coming.
So Meghan held on to that footage for years, just waiting for the perfect moment to release it when she needed a sympathy boost or a relatability push. That's not spontaneous, that's strategic. That's someone treating every private moment like content to be deployed later. It's honestly disturbing when you think about it.
She's reportedly bullied virtually everybody who's ever worked for her. She can't keep a staff in London. She can't keep a staff in Montecito. She's a bully. She's obsessed with her own ego, face on television, etc., and playing the victim. So no amount of humanizing videos, even if she managed to find one, are going to work.
The gap between the public image and private reality has never been wider. And when that gap gets too big, people stop believing anything you put out there. Every Instagram post becomes suspect. Every interview feels rehearsed. Every tear looks fake.
But she needs us to love her. So she will do whatever it takes, and she doesn't know how to make us love her.
It's almost sad in a way. All this effort, all this production, all this carefully curated content, and for what? The harder she tries to make people love her, the more people see through it. And Kelly wasn't the only one calling out Meghan's act. Piers Morgan knew Meghan before she met Harry, and what he revealed changes the entire narrative.
I knew her a bit before she met Harry. She was nothing like that. She didn't speak like that. Her mannerisms weren't like that. This is all fake.
This is someone who actually spent time with her before the royal wedding, before the transformation, before the whole rebrand. So when Morgan says she wasn't like this, that actually means something. The shift wasn't gradual, it was a complete personality overhaul.
She was a real hard-nosed LA girl, right? Who was on the fast track. Yeah. Now she's like this, oh, I'm soft, I'm mummy, I'm this. It's all bullshit.
It's like watching someone method act their way through life. And the crazy part, she committed so hard to this new character that she probably believes it herself at this point. But you can't erase who you were, especially when people like Morgan remember exactly what you were like before the cameras got bigger. And the failure of her projects proves this disconnect.
Didn't she sign a huge deal with Netflix and all of these, but they all keep flopping. The reason they keep flopping is because she doesn't have anything to say. If you want to be a public figure who is a thought leader, who you need to have like at least something to say.
Think about how many celebrities have launched successful platforms. Rihanna built a makeup empire. The Rock has multiple business ventures. Ryan Reynolds turned aviation gin into a massive sale. These people had something to offer beyond just their fame. Meghan's trying to sell us lifestyle content when she has no actual lifestyle philosophy worth following.
She wants the tiara. She doesn't want the public service. So she runs into becoming a princess, but then when she realizes that you actually have to do things when you're a princess, it's not all just Disneyland, people waiting on you hand and foot and adulating you when you actually have to like do things. Then she says, I don't want to be a princess anymore.
She wanted the fairy tale without the fine print, the crown without the duty, the admiration without the sacrifice. And when reality hit, when she realized being royal means following protocols and serving the public instead of yourself, she couldn't handle it.
They want all the privileges. They want all of the honors. They want all the plaudits, but they don't want to do anything.
This is the core issue that every commentator keeps circling back to. The entitlement is off the charts. They want to be treated like working royals while living in a Montecito mansion doing Netflix deals. Can't have it both ways. But what Samantha Markle revealed to Tucker about the nasty secrets Meghan's been hiding, that's when things got really interesting. We'll get to that explosive interview shortly, but first you need to understand just how deep this delusion goes, because the contradictions were only getting more absurd.
The woman who destroyed her in-laws' family, whose own family doesn't like her, whose the in-laws obviously don't like her, the public doesn't like her. What's the title of her show? Love Meghan. For what? To watch? Who wants to watch Meghan Markle bake a pie?
The title alone is almost comedic. Love Meghan. It's like naming your show Everyone Adores Me when the exact opposite is true. This isn't confidence, it's delusion. And the branding around this show is even more ridiculous when you look closer.
All the little clips of her seem to attempt to show some reticence or some kind of meekness. They want her to appear demure and modest.
Every trailer, every teaser, every promotional clip is trying so hard to sell this image of reluctance. Like she's being dragged into the spotlight against her will. Poor Meghan is being forced to have multiple camera crews follow her around her mansion.
The act of making a TV show about herself is not modest. She's not reluctant to speak. She really wants attention.
Contradiction is obvious. You can't claim privacy while filming docuseries about yourself. People aren't stupid. But even with all these commentators exposing her act, Candace Owens went deeper and said what nobody dared to articulate.
Guys, I feel like I'm a very accepting person. Truly, I want to like something about her. I'm searching for something to like about her. And it's so hard because she suffers from such a rare disorder of being unable to just be a human. Give us like one strip of authenticity.
That's the frustration so many people feel but can't quite put into words. You want to find something genuine, something real to connect with, but every single interaction feels scripted. Every emotion feels rehearsed. It's like trying to have a conversation with someone who's always performing for an invisible audience.
She wants us to believe that she went from being a D-list actress from a show that nobody that I know watched, Suits, okay, who took her clothes off, was not even a main role, okay, was doing sex scenes, to becoming Martha Stewart in 3 years. Like, this is totally authentic.
The timeline doesn't even make sense. 3 years to go from minor TV actress to lifestyle guru, Oprah took decades to build that kind of authority. Martha Stewart spent years perfecting her craft before becoming a household name. Meghan thinks she can skip all that and just declare herself an expert on living well. The arrogance is breathtaking.
To be a real princess is to focus your life on the service of others, is to be elegant and to comport yourself with dignity and to restrain your individual desires and to be a public figure serving the public without any particular care for yourself.
This is what Meghan fundamentally misunderstood about marrying into royalty. It's not about you. It's never been about you. It's about duty, sacrifice, and putting the institution above personal desires. That's why people respect the queen, why they respected Diana, despite everything. They understood the assignment.
To be a pretend princess, to be an actress, is to totally indulge your selfish desires and do whatever you want and be glamorous and live for the tabloids and beg for people's attention.
Meghan wanted the Disney version of being a princess. The gowns, the galas, the global attention, but she didn't want the work that comes with it, the boring charity events, the protocol, the restraint, the service. She wanted celebrity with a crown, not royalty with responsibility. But the absolute knockout blow, it came directly from Meghan's own family. Tucker brought Meghan Markle's half-sister Samantha onto his show, and she didn't hold back for a second.
So what do you make of her claim that she has no idea who you are?
You know, it's been just a series of lies, and I can't believe we were essentially looking at $100 million fake news PR machine. It's projection at its finest, and it's almost comical.
The scale of this operation is insane when you actually think about it. Most celebrities have publicists and maybe a crisis management team. Meghan and Harry have essentially built an entire media empire dedicated to controlling how they're perceived, and they're still losing the PR battle despite outspending everyone.
Well, she does seem to have left quite a trail of destruction in her wake, but she also has, as you pointed out in your first sentence, on her side, telling her story in soft focus. What's it like to be up against that?
Samantha's not speaking from tabloid rumors or anonymous sources. She's speaking as someone who's watched Meghan operate up close. She's seen the wreckage firsthand. And what's wild is how Meghan manages to position herself as the wounded party in every situation, no matter how much damage she causes.
We didn't know how we were going to deal with it until, you know, like they say, water seeks its own level. Eventually the truth comes out, and when it does, and when the dust settles, I thought, you know, truth has to stand for something. Truth wins. So here we are.
You can only control the narrative for so long before cracks start showing, before people start comparing notes, before the pattern becomes undeniable. And when you spend $100 million on PR and people still don't believe you, that's not a media problem, that's a credibility problem.
And it seems to me that they, got into their position. They had a lot of fun. They loved the accolades and the perks. But when it came time to being accountable and being responsible and following rules, that seems to be when everything fell apart.
It's the classic case of wanting all the benefits without any of the responsibilities. They wanted to cherry pick which royal duties to follow and which to ignore. That's not how institutions work. That's not how families work. But it's exactly how entitled narcissists operate.
Would you have any advice for her in-laws? She's married into this big and storied family and seems to have disrupted it pretty profoundly. What would you counsel them?
So what advice does Samantha have for the royal family dealing with this disruption?
I think he needs to act, certainly swiftly and severely and lay down the boundaries because they seem to not like boundaries. And I think it sets a dangerous precedent to let this go on.
I think that's wise advice really for any family.
This is the advice that should have been followed years ago. Set clear boundaries and enforce them immediately. Because every time the royal family lets something slide, it emboldens Meghan and Harry to push further. It's not just about them anymore. It's about protecting the integrity of the entire monarchy. And then came the solution everyone's been calling for.
They should just do what I've said for a few years now. Just take the titles away. Let them get on with being Meghan and Harry celebrities. You can be judged accordingly. You can do what you like. It's the problem is doing it under the umbrella of being the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, him remaining in line to the throne.
This is the only solution that makes sense at this point. They want to be Hollywood celebrities? Fine, be Hollywood celebrities. But you don't get to keep the royal titles while trashing the institution that gave you those titles. You don't get to profit off your connection to the crown while simultaneously destroying your relationship with the crown. It's time to make a choice. So after all of this, what's really left of Meghan's brand? Not much, honestly. The royal family is being advised to act swiftly. The titles are hanging by a thread. And Meghan's desperately trying to rebrand with cooking shows, as if Netflix series about making jam will erase years of documented behavior. But here's the reality nobody wants to say out loud. When you've burned every bridge and exhausted every ounce of public goodwill, there's no coming back from that. You can't rebuild trust when nobody believes a single word that comes out of your mouth. But here's what nobody's asking. If they do strip the titles and the royal connection disappears completely, what does Meghan actually have left to sell? Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more royal drama.